I overdosed 15 times, brother.
Oh,
I
wow.
literally flatlined religion. It doesn't care about people.
Yeah.
I didn't deserve her, bro, but God gave me her. So
Yes.
now I have a beautiful wife and a family that I don't deserve that God gave me, bro.
Yes.
My entire family has been just riddled with cancer.
It's TMP Empire.
Greetings, the Verse family, all our audience. Thank you for tuning in again. And thank you for continuing to share this and giving us feedback here and there. We are coming to you live again today with the Verse. We have with us a special guest. And today I am your host together with my co host.
Hi, my name is Real Man TMP, so you can go and follow me at Real Man TMP.
And behind our cameras, of course, we have our director, Donaldo Mane.
Donaldo Man.
Hey, let's kick this up. Without further ado, let us introduce our guest, special guest. He's going to introduce himself and wherever he is and whatever he does. Without further ado, go ahead, my brother, and talk to us.
Hey, how you guys doing? I'm Michael Schmakel from Colorado Springs, and I'm also known as Smudge D. I'm a Christian hip hop artist, but I also founded Higher Power ENT, and that is a Christian ministry and record label. So you guys can find us on all platforms as well. And we've been doing this for since about 2020 now. So we just got a fire for the Lord, and we're just out here trying to serve.
Okay. Really nice. Thank you. And I think so. What's going on? So you have to be free, like here. It's a podcast where we talk, we ask questions. You can ask us questions, we can ask you. But for this, since it's the first time, we want our people to know you, So we'll go straight with questions about yourself. Can you tell us about yourself, where you were born, where you from, and how did you encounter with God?
Okay, yeah. So I was born in Hinsdale, Illinois, which is a suburb just outside of Chicago. I was born in the Chicago area. Primarily lived there most of my life. Um, kind of found God really. Kind of knew God all my life. He always kind of intersected in my life a lot. My mother wasn't really religious, but she would take me to like Sunday schools and stuff like that. And I remember singing the songs, and I remember God touching my heart at a very young age.
Wow.
And I remember it feeling very, very special to me because I didn't, we grew up very poor, and we didn't have much joy in anything, and a lot of abuse in the home and stuff like that, and drug abuse and stuff like that. So when we got to go to the Sunday school, it was very beautiful. It was a time where we were really the most happy, I believe, and we got to sing on that bus, and I remember that still to this day.
Yes.
If I could ask you a question just on what you just mentioned there. Um, so you pretty much grew up with just one parent. Is that what you meant?
Yes. Yes, I grew up with just my mom. My dad was never in the picture. He was actually a drug dealer, and he got in some trouble with some wrong people. And my mom had to leave because we were in danger, and he was getting into a lot of trouble. So we left that situation and moved away. And soon after, she married another guy that was actually quite abusive to me and my brother. So it was a pretty bad situation for a long time, actually.
Wow.
So, from the time that you were moving around, were you ever concerned to really want to meet your father, or had you already met him already?
So I didn't really know of him since I was like 2 years old. So I didn't really have like a extremely close relationship or really knew of him that much. And my mom, I think, kind of maybe kept it that way. R.I.P. to my mother. My mother is no longer alive either. She
God bless
away
her soul.
God bless her
a
soul
few
for sure.
years back from cancer. Um, but I really never, I think I always did have a void in my heart from not having a father, but I also didn't understand what not having a father was. So it wasn't on the outside of me bothering me, if that makes sense.
Yes, yes.
And and again, I just want to mention this to you. Feel free to share what you feel you can, and certain things that you don't feel like sharing. Maybe they will come to another point, but we want you to really be yourself. Just whatever you want to share out there.
Yeah. So
Appreciate that. I appreciate
yes. So now I want to ask you if we can go in details in terms of your childhood. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Because you
Yeah.
talk about, your father be a drug dealer and,
Poverty.
poverty and all that. Can you go in details a little bit? Because, on this podcast, the testimony that we are doing is to show the wonders of God, how you can come from this place and go through some tough, time of moments of your life and become who you are today. You know what I mean? If you can go in details from your childhood, things that happened to you, and
Mhm.
yes,
Amen. I could
yeah,
definitely go into a little bit of detail here.
yeah,
Like I said, we were kind of in the Chicago area when my mom had split up with my father. She just had my little brother, so I have a little brother with me, and um, my mother ended up marrying this man, and he was very abusive, and he wanted to get us away from my mother's family as fast as he could, so that he could remain abusive and keep being abusive. So he had us move out to California on the pretense that he was getting a job out in California and improving our lives, but when really he was moving us away so that he could abuse us. And me and my little brother were locked outside the house
wow,
for maybe like 6 or 8 hours a day, sometimes during the day when my mother was at work, and he didn't even work, and he was at home getting drunk and drinking vodka and doing whatever he was doing and womanizing and cheating on my mother and abusing us.
yeah,
So this was kind of what was going on. I was getting into trouble at a very young age, doing home invasions and stuff with kids that were much older than me, getting
yeah,
involved with gangs and stuff like this in the Long Beach area in California. So I was a really good kid at heart, man, but I didn't have no idea of what was really right, to who I was supposed to be hanging out with, or what really I was supposed to be doing out here.
yeah,
So I got into a lot of trouble. My mom caught me stealing. A few times out there because we didn't have anything, and I just wanted
yes,
to, I wanted that Game Boy or whatever the other kids had. So I would break into somebody's house and I would steal it, and then my mom would find it, and then I would get beat for it, and then it would just be like another circle, and I would do it again.
hmm,
And but yeah, that went on for a real long time, and then shortly after that, my mom got really bad into drugs and crack cocaine again. And that was really a bad time in California with the crack epidemic. And that was right around time of the Watts riots. 92, 93.
Mm-hmm.
And we were out there. So she got into the drugs, ended up getting away from this guy, but ended up getting deeper into the drugs with some other guy.
Some other guy.
So yeah, so then she ended up not being able to really be able to take care of us because she was so strung out on the dope. So she
Yeah.
ended up having to give us to our grandmother, which was in northern Wisconsin, which was another super crazy
And so
shift.
you guys went to another states?
Yes, to northern Wisconsin, which is literally the other side of the map, and
Yeah.
it's a cold place where there's nothing there, and it's in the middle of nowhere. We were completely shocked. We had no idea where we were going. So it was terrifying, and it was me and my brother took a plane by ourselves and went out there, and people out there were not receptive of us. They were very evil towards us. They wanted to snuff us out any way they could, or beat us up, or try to bully us any way they possibly could, because they didn't like where we were from or what we stood for, and that we were nice kids or anything like that. They didn't like that about us.
Okay.
Quick question for you,
Yeah, so
before you go further. At this point, how old are you and your brother?
So we're right around, I think at the point where we're switching to my grandmother's house, probably right around 8 years old or 10 years old, somewhere in there. So then me and my brother is 2 years younger than me. Maybe he's about 6 to 8 or somewhere around there. But my brother had a lot of trauma. So I have a tendency to talk about issues, and I kind of remember a lot of this stuff because I don't suppress it. But my brother actually suppresses a lot of this issues, and it's really bad when you suppress, like pain like this. It'll do really bad damage to your brain. So yeah, a lot of abuse we had when we were very young.
Was
So
there
it was just a lot to deal with.
was there anybody in your life around this time that was at least trying to get you to look on the other side, or to try to better your life in a certain way through maybe advices and things of that nature, or make you feel like loved? Because I could imagine in those type of situation you are not even feeling that love or or let me say compassion from from like father or somebody figure. Was there anything like that in your life at this moment?
Definitely there was a few people that I remember throughout kind of these stages that have been like kind of angels in my life that God has sent to me to kind of watch out for me in certain times that I wouldn't have made it through myself, or something bad would have happened to me. But there's always someone, and they're never in my life for a very long time. It's usually there for a very short time, and they're just gone. But they're angels. They're angels sent to help me. Yeah, basically.
Okay.
So as you grew up, I could kind of imagine maybe what was like your teenager, uh, that age. What was it like growing up as a teenager? Those are 14, 15, 16. What was it like?
It was a very, very, very rough age for me. I was getting picked on and bullied and waited for after school. I was a very awkward teen. I was overweight. I had pimples all over me. I had to
You don't look like
You
you're
don't look like
overweight.
it.
Yeah,
You
I was very
don't look
over,
like it.
and we were eating, government food and just whatever, so we didn't have a good
Yeah.
diet, and
Yeah.
government cheese and peanut butter and whatever. But
Mm-hmm.
um, I was just a very awkward looking kid and got picked on a lot. Me and my brother got picked on a whole lot, and I always
Yeah.
try to, defend him. So I ended up getting
And then you
beat up
got
a
broke.
lot. Yeah, then I get beat up a lot. But then I got fearless, and I just would go ahead and fight like 3 or 4 guys, and I didn't care anymore because I
Yeah.
was tired of being picked on, and I was tired of being pushed around.
Mm-hmm.
But soon that all kind of led to drugs when I kind of started smoking marijuana, and that was a huge thing for me at about 12 years old. I was completely in love with marijuana. All I wanted to do all day long was smoke it, and that's all that anybody else I was around wanted to do. So um, that's what we did for a long time until it turned into drinking, and then the drinking turned into cocaine, and then the cocaine turned into selling a bunch of drugs. I ended up one of my buddies was bringing drugs all the way from Chicago every weekend, and we were supplying the whole town with all kinds of different drugs and doing all kinds of terrible stuff we shouldn't have been doing. And I got to see firsthand like what it was doing to the town and everybody around me. Is this is a small town. It was absolutely it was atrocious. I couldn't believe the damage we were doing to the city.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So
Now, you said your father was, of course, selling drugs, and you growing up, you saw kind of the effect of what he did to your family, to your mother, and to yourself and your brother. At some point, were you ever thinking that when I grow up, I don't want to be like my father? I don't want to be involved in anything that perhaps I saw from my father.
Mm-hmm.
Did anything like that ever come to your mind?
yes, it did. Pretty much, I'll be very transparent with you. I've extremely bad anger issues that I still deal with till this
Yeah.
day. But this point, I had extremely bad anger issues, and I was not a good person to the people I was with. I was abusive, and I wasn't a good person, bro. And that's why I've praised God so hard today because of what He's brought me through, brother.
Yes.
Because I am not that person anymore, brother.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And you
Yeah.
can say whatever you want about me, bro, but I have come through it and I have
Yeah.
changed. So you
Yeah.
can't take that from me.
Yes.
I hear you, my brother. I know this is not easy. Go ahead.
Yes. Yeah, like feel free,
Feel free, brother.
and this is where I believe that your story will touch somebody else's life somewhere, somewhere out there. You know, as you know, the Verse podcast, we have so many people right now. We are in Africa, we are here in America, Europe. So there's somebody who gonna get blessed by your story. So
I'm blessed already by it.
me too,
Yeah,
me too.
I'm so touched, my brother.
Really
Sincerely.
feel free to open up, especially in terms of what you are saying right now about your personal life. It's not everybody who are willing to be open and talk about the wonders of God that God is doing in their life right now. You know what I mean?
Correct.
So
Yes.
where we at right now, what you are saying, so my question will be, if you really think of what God have done into your life, do you have like 3 things that you can say, you know what, my brother, if it wasn't for God, this is what happened to my life, and if it wasn't for God, this is what could have happened?
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Well, I could go all day on that, brother. I couldn't. 3 are enough on that. But
Yeah.
what I will tell you is the blessings that everybody the biggest blessings, the ones that are like flashy and the ones that are like, wow, and everybody goes, wow. I really think it's the ones that are inside, the ones that God fixes in you are the biggest
Yes.
things He could do for you.
Yes.
Because it's not until you can actually look inside yourself and
Yeah.
actually see what you've done to others and
Mm.
see the damage that you've put on others and see that
Yeah.
you've used everyone in your life, and you've never been a good friend, and you've never been a good brother, or you've never been a good husband, you've never been a good anything in your life.
Yes.
When God can reach in and He can touch those chords and He can heal every one of them one by one,
Mm-hmm.
that's a new type of healing. That is something that a gift in the flesh will never ever do for you.
Yeah.
Self growth is the best thing you can get from God, and this is the only way to move forward. It's the
Yes.
only way to move forward.
Yes.
Um, Also, I would not have my kids today, brother, because
Oh,
I will tell
congrats,
you right
congrats.
now, I would I would have I overdosed 15 times, brother.
Oh,
I
wow.
literally flatlined in hotel rooms, in my bedroom, in Mexico,
15 times.
everywhere you can possibly think of, off of every type of drug. I was on a hell-bent mission to kill myself, but I didn't have the guts to just put the gun to my head. So this is what I was doing. I was drinking a gallon of vodka per day and taking a handful of Vicodins and Percocets and everything I could put in my body. And then on top of that, I was snorting heroin. Um, and then I was using this other stuff that they give you, the Suboxone, and you put very addicted to, that's supposed to be for weaning you off of heroin. It's
Yes.
kind of like methadone, but people abuse it, and it's worse than heroin. So don't let anybody tell you that's a good drug to have.
Wow.
Um, but yes, I would not have my kids. I would not be able to speak with my kids. I would not have a relationship with my daughter. My
Yeah.
daughter would not be living with me in this home today, going to school in my town that I live in right now. This is the biggest miracles that God could do for you. He
Yes.
can mend your relationships. He can
Yes.
fix your relationships. A huge thing, man.
Mm-hmm.
Other thing I would say is he can help with grief.
Yes.
Grief, lose. I've lost my entire family has been just riddled with cancer. My mother died from cancer. My aunt died from cancer when she was only like 22. Um,
Mm-hmm.
a really radical type of cancer that just killed her. My grandpa died of cancer. Like everybody, just cancer in my family. Just nothing
Yes.
but generational curses in my family. Um, so it's just losing losing a mother is the biggest thing you can ever lose in your life. But I also lost my
Yeah.
grandmother, which was the other mother in my life
Yeah.
that was just as consistent as my mother was. And I lost her at a very young age. But I took care of my mother all through cancer as well, which was a very tough thing to do. And I was not well myself. And that was one of the one of my biggest regrets was not being well enough to take care of my mother because I was so strung out on drugs.
Wow. So at that time, now, um, you talk about drugs a lot, and I wanted to ask: at this time when you're on drugs, did you had any kids, or were you married?
So, yes, I had pretty ruined my marriage. Um, well, the son's mother, I never got my daughter's mother, but she's now 19. She lives with me.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, it's never had a good relationship with the mothers. It's always been really complicated. I've never made that easy on myself because
Yeah.
I've always disappeared for long periods of time out of my shame because
Yeah.
I love my kids too much to show my kids that. I don't want to
Yeah.
show them my face of me looking like that.
Yeah.
So I just won't show up at all. And that's the issue with it. And that's exactly what the devil wants. He wants me to not be in their lives.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
As
But
as you were sharing all this story about your
Yeah.
life, it started from I started seeing you from a survivor into a miracle. That's what
Yeah.
I keep seeing. It's like, I mean, 15 overdose,
Yeah.
a bottle of vodka a
Vodka.
day, on top of that, all other
Honey.
drugs that you were on. I mean, at this point, you're not a survivor anymore.
Yeah, you are a
You,
miracle.
you are a miracle. So,
Because nobody gave us all 15
yeah,
chances.
see, 15 chances. You probably got 15 chances.
Yeah.
So, looking at your life, at what point did you decide,
Mhm.
you know what, I'm done with this, I'm done with that, and so forth?
Well, for me, I am the most hard-headed person in the world.
Yeah.
Um, it takes God to slap me in the head with something to get across. So it literally took me to lose everything, down to every last item I possessed, down to every last friend I had, down to my girlfriend at the time, down to
Yeah.
anything I could think of. I lost everything. I was laying on the floor of my apartment. My mom was sick in the next room, sleeping on the floor, no possession at all, and I lost my mother. And that was when, a moment that was either I can either turn something good out of this now, and God was kind of telling me, or I can die
Yeah.
because He's not going to allow me to carry on this way anymore, and will be the end for me. So I decided that I was going to give it a try, which is funny. I went with somebody. I had no options. I had an old friend. You know how old friends are from up north. Actually, somewhat of a Satanist, which is
Yeah.
funny enough. The one that kind of saved me out of that situation found me a place to stay up north. But wouldn't you know, they want you kind of right where they want you, right?
Yeah.
Satan wants you right where he can find you. Um, so I went up there. Actually, ended up meeting my wife at the time.
Yeah.
Just in the nick of time, I met her in Chicago before I was about to leave,
Okay.
and we ended up hitting it off so good that she was coming out to see me in Wisconsin almost regularly, and then
Mm.
soon after that, she ended up wanting to come and just stay with me. So we ended up getting a place.
Yeah.
And from then on out, I just started praying to God and just to deliver me from the
Yeah.
disease. But it was hard, bro. And it wasn't easy, and it didn't happen overnight. It
Yes.
took
Yes. Yes.
years. It took years of going through hell,
Yeah.
and me probably putting Allie through hell, my wife, because it was not good for her. I mean, I was a total maniac, but she is my angel. She stayed
Yeah.
there through all of that, bro. And I didn't deserve that.
Yeah.
I didn't deserve her, bro. But God gave me her. So
Yes.
now I have a beautiful wife and a family that I don't deserve, that God gave me, bro.
Yes.
So that is why I praise God, bro.
Hallelujah. Yes.
Man, yeah,
Yes. Wow.
man. I'm really getting into it, guys. That you're getting everything tonight.
No, I know. It's just that's what that's what this platform is here. It's not easy. People they see you now and they don't understand, like sometimes people when they see us
They
at
don't,
this stage,
yeah, they don't know the process you went through for training.
starts to be where we are today, and real men do cry too. It's okay. And myself, I've learned that the hard way that it's okay. We can cry too. It's okay. And you said about something that I think I normally say that a lot, that don't wait on God to punish you for you to change.
Mm.
Because
Yes.
you'll find out that experience is very expensive.
Mm, mm.
It's
You know what I
expensive.
mean?
It's the
Don't
most
wait.
expensive thing. It costed me
You know,
years
yes.
and years of my life.
Yeah. So now I want to tell somebody out there, learn from our brother. You don't want to wait until you build up your life, you have something, and God has to come in and slap you the way he did with our brother. That's what I'm saying. Experience is very expensive. So learn from people like our brother here, Michael. You know, come back to Jesus. It's about time for you to really rethink about what you are going through right now and
Correct.
understand that God still got you. Right?
Correct. Allow me to call. Is it okay if I call you Smudge D? Because I kind of like that one. Yeah,
Yeah, that's okay. That's
yeah.
okay.
I
You can
really
call me,
kind of
brother.
like that Smudge D.
Smash D. Okay.
So, Smudge D, at this point, you decided to turn your life around,
Yes.
and things you start to feel alive again. There is that thing that they say, where you come from always pull you back, like has like a hold of you. At this point, you are into, let's say, like a new life that you are going, a new journey that you are going to, but your past is always right behind you. You keep remembering some of those sparkling, some of those feelings that you were getting out of the things that were like your escape place.
Yes.
So you start this journey with God now. At some point, did you ever feel like, you know what, I can't do this. You know what, this is not me. I just need to go back to my life. Did that thought ever come to you,
Right.
or was it always coming to you?
I will be honest with you. It's there's a lot of times when you question stuff, man. And just people in general will make you
Yes.
question a lot of things. This life, this physical life will make you question a lot of things. But I always confide in God, and I
Yeah.
always come back and center myself with him in prayer, and always take my problems to him, so I don't feel like I'm ever gonna quit. And I just don't have a quitter spirit in me, bro. When it comes
Yeah.
to God, he's brought me from too much.
Mm-hmm.
And when you've been brought from this much, bro, you're not gonna let God down anymore, bro.
Yeah. Wow.
Did you ever look at like the things that you had, your previous experience always push you to feel like, no, I don't want to go back. I don't want to go back to that.
Oh
Was it
yes.
what was was
So
happening to you?
yeah, so anytime that I start edging towards sin, and trust me, I'm not perfect. Nobody is perfect, bro. We all sin. And then
Mm-hmm.
anytime we start backsliding, or we feel like we're going back to that direction,
Mm-hmm.
God will not allow me, bro, to
Yeah.
continue down that way. I
Mm-hmm.
will feel like a complete wreck. I won't be able
Yeah.
to handle myself. I will literally, I can't feel right sinning. There's no way I can do that for a long time. Able to catch me, catch me to continue to
Yeah.
sin me as just the way I am.
Yeah.
So
Wow.
yeah.
No, because right now you are a testimony of God. You know, I mean the way you said miracle of God, you know. So there's a lot of soul that will be saved because of you, because of your experience,
Because there's a lot
your
of people that
story.
can
Yeah.
relate to you for sure.
A lot of people. And some of them they never get the chance that you had. So now we wanna go to I think, hey, TMP, the Verse family, the Verse podcast, you guys have heard the testimony. And right now, I think we want to talk about your career, what you are doing now, your ministry right now. Can you tell us about your ministry?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So it's called Higher Power ENT. It doubles as outreach ministry and a music label. We have a mission in Pakistan. We try to fund missions for cancer patients and stuff like that. We organize music events, outreach events, stuff like that. Events for the homeless. We got people in Kansas City right now out there giving out blankets and jackets and stuff like that. We have a lot of resources that we have for people. So if you guys are in need of something, reach out. We may be able to help you. If we can, we will let you know. And if you need funding for any type of tragedies or any kind of terrible events that have happened, let us know, and we can try to raise money for those type of things, because that's really what we're here for. We're here for people, first of all. It's not about the music. It's not about us. It's not about the music. Is literally dead last on my list of things. That's literally the tool that we use to reach people, and that's really all it should be. It's not supposed to be glorified like we do a lot of the time. So but yes, we have a beautiful music label, about 20 different artists' music on it right now. You can find it at Higher Power ENT on Spotify, Apple, any platforms you can think of. It's out there anywhere you can look. We're on Facebook, we're on Instagram, we're wherever you look. We also have a website that you can find on our Facebook. And you can find all of our artists on there. You can find our outreach work. You can find some of the festivals that we're going to be attending for next year. You can find a lot of information on there as well. And yeah, I hip-hop music roughly in middle school, but I started doing gospel hip-hop around 2021. So so that's when I started jumping into the gospel hip hop scene. I was secular before, but you can find
even like the name gospel hip hop.
I'm
actually, you know, I'm an artist and I'm looking for you know, we have a lot of content creation of like a gospel got talent, but it's so hard to find, you know, Christian people who wanna do, you know, Christian content. You know, so it's not easy.
We've got a ton of content for you, brother. I've got all kinds of ministers that will make content for you guys. They'll come on the podcast, everything, bro.
We should do this at least once every week. You know, once a week we do this. We bring more people inside. That would be great. Yeah.
Let's do it. So, I love you guys, man. I already love the podcast. We will definitely get that done.
Yes, sir. The love is more here.
Of course, yeah. We love you back big time. Smudge, allow me quickly to read this quote that you happen to share on your social media. I'll have a small question about it because I feel like this is something that you can touch on. This is from Driven Bansi, I may say. It's a quote that you shared on your Facebook. It says this: "We gotta stop offending people before winning people. Stop picking up someone apart the moment they walk into your church. Welcome them with open arms. Let your Christian-like love win them to Christ. And then let God do the cleaning." Could you talk a little bit about that?
No, listen, I really love that call. Yesterday when I go through your stuff, I saw it.
I was thinking I was going to ask that toward the end. I was just surprised when you shared it.
I saw it and I was like, this is so amazing.
Please talk a little bit about that.
Driven Basie is a really cool dude that I've been following that guy for a couple of years now, I think, but we just kind of look at each other's stuff here and there. But no, I agree with that post 100%. I feel like all we do is cast out our insecurities on everybody else and tell everybody else that they're sinners in the church and that point out their sin when we got a huge block coming out of our eye.
Yeah.
When we're pointing, it's crazy how the church does that, and honestly, it's the spirit of the Antichrist in the church today.
No, definitely.
And
Yes.
they're trying to push us out of the church. They're not trying to welcome us in
Yes.
anymore. That's a really sad thing to see, but we're going to have to fight back and take back the church, guys. We cannot give up.
Definitely. So for me, I'll say something about, because so far, I feel like nowadays there's no church. There's only religion. It's like people. It's like the church now is like it's like a restaurant, a bar, a club. People, they don't really, and we forget, even the Bible said that the real church is our body, is our heart, right? And the reason why I was so related to this quote, because for a long time, I remember some years back, I was going to church, and especially African churches, they are very strict. You have to dress up a certain way. You have to look, you can't have this, you can't hair, stuff like that. And that really used to hurt me a lot. And I feel like even I end up not going to church because of that. Because when you go to by the time you get there, the first person that you see, it's just, they don't see you. They see, when are you gonna shave your hair, man? Blah blah blah. So all they do is just judging you. But at the same time, those people, they know your heart. They know what kind of a person you are. But they're not gonna judge you from who you are, but how you look like. So that was really powerful. Do you have any experience from that?
I would just
I'm asking you about your personal experience.
No, I'll give you because we were all brought up differently.
Yeah.
And we all, just like Smudge D, at the point that we now encountered the church.
Yeah.
So we all came in it differently.
Yeah.
Like me, myself, I was born and raised in a Christian family.
Yeah.
Straight up Christian family. So, but I noticed these things because I was always in church.
Yeah.
So I always noticed how people were approaching other people that came with this quote, like he said.
Yeah.
But it always created a curiosity in me to want to be those people instead of being in the church. So that's the thing that happened to me. I was like, me feeling that treatment that they received made me want to be them instead of wanting to be. Instead of wanting to be in the church. But the question I wanted to ask Smudge D especially. So from this quote, the way I see it is that the church is there, but they are practicing religion. Mm-hmm. Religion, which is basically man-created type of rule, pretty much, of how things should be conducted, how life should be lived, which is totally different from what Christianity is. So when Smudge D, when you brought your life into church, I may say, in Christianity and so forth, did you ever felt anything like that? Like what this quote is saying?
Yes, I think everybody, especially new believers, has an extremely hard time in this Western civilization transitioning into any kind of church. I think that the churches, they have an appearance of a real church, and they have an appearance, and they might even feel like the Holy Spirit is really thriving in there. But then when you really dig in and you want to actually get involved, or you want to get any kind of recognition from anybody, or even speak to anybody with the church, they give you a cold shoulder. or they don't want to bring you into any of their activities, or they just don't answer you when you have any questions or anything like that. So they literally just do everything possible to deter you away from the church.
From the church.
Basically.
And
Hold on, before he goes further, because I really, this is very important.
Yeah.
Yeah, like you say, we are trying to win souls. And then sometimes we actually win souls, and those souls, they come to church.
But we don't know how to keep
We don't
them.
know how to keep them, how to
Yes.
take care of them.
Yeah.
So, and also the people, when we come to church, we are seeking help. We want a different life.
Yeah.
But we cannot say every church they're all the same.
Yeah.
There are actually some real good churches out there
Definitely.
that are actually doing things the right way.
Yeah.
But sometimes when we come to church as we are, for example, I come to church, let's say I'm, what can I say? Like let's say I'm a drug dealer,
Yeah,
or,
drug dealer,
and
yeah.
whatever I do out there. And the church is a good church, and they embrace me, they welcome me.
Yeah.
But they come to a point where they talk about certain things in the church, spiritual life, where I find myself into, and I feel like, wow, the pastor or the preacher on that day, why is he talking about me? Why is he kind of like, in his preaching, it feels like, why is he judging me, or things like that? What should be an approach? What could you advise somebody that hears that it sounds like they're judging me, it sounds like they're picking on me? What's the advice that you could give to somebody? Yet, because whatever the pastor may be talking about may be misunderstood from me, because I'm new to this thing. I don't understand when they're talking about certain things, what exactly they mean. What would be your advice to somebody that find themselves in that situation?
That's a good question.
Well, most likely, first of all, the pastor probably doesn't know you because you haven't been in that church. So how would he be picking you out? He doesn't know you. He doesn't know your issues. So first of all, I wouldn't go telling them all of your issues right off the bat. Don't go telling everybody everything about you ever, especially a church. They're going to use that against you. They're going to make you feel bad, and then they're going to deter you, push you away from Christianity. We don't want to do that. We want to keep people. We want you for Christ wants you. It's nothing about religion. Religion is made by man, and religion is us showing up on Sunday and filling up the seats, and we all do our part and sit down in front of the pastor. But after that, what happens when we leave the church? That is the part where we become a Christian. But nobody, we're just showing up on that day just to kind of fill a seat. But I think I kind of skipped over your point here. But as a new believer in that chair, you got to sit there and take this as he's talking to the entire congregation here. He is not just talking to one person. He is talking to us as a whole. And these are just issues as a whole. He's not talking to you. He's not talking to the next guy. These are important issues that need to be spoken of. But what I would say is if you're feeling convicted, that is when it's actually working. And that the spirit is doing what it needs to in you. So you should, even if you're uncomfortable, lean into it and feel that.
Just hold on for a second. We're just fixing up a small technical issue.
All right.
Just a minute, please.
Sure. No problem.
Can you hear us? Smudge,
Yeah.
can you hear us?
Yes, I can hear you.
Can you hear us?
Yes.
Okay. We can't hear him. You can hear him?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, I can't.
Okay, we're trying to fix something.
Okay.
Let's see. Because of our sounds, but so far so good.
Wow.
Yeah. So, but me, I can talk because I can hear.
In church, they will say that the devil is a liar.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Did you hear that?
Devil
The
is a
devil
liar. That's real.
Yeah. But there's another quote that I want to read. It says, Religious people will destroy a person to keep a tradition. Jesus will break a tradition to help a person. What can you say about that? What is your take on that?
Religion, it doesn't care about people. Religion cares about the outward appearance of church and filling the seats and making it look like we're helping people and doing a good job.
Yeah.
But people that but it's a complete opposite of that is a relationship with Christ. That is the entire point of all of this. Is our relationship is the most important thing with Christ. So if we don't have that relationship and we leave that church and we're just there to get our fix, like it's our crack habit, that's not going to help us. That's only them giving you a little charge and like, woo, because we did some music, we played some stuff. That's not God. God is with you always. Don't forget about God when we leave the church. That's not how it works. We're in a constant relationship with him at all times.
Okay. That's so amazing. And for me, I think that's so true, because nowadays, if you see, when it comes to religion, has really ruined the church. And my other question, do you have any question?
No, go ahead.
Yeah. So my other question is, what is your take? This is a very, very controversial. It's a very, very
I can hear him, but not yet.
it's
Majdi, can you hear us?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, this is a very controversial question. And so it's very simple. What is your take on LGBTQRSTWXYZ? I don't know the numbers, but what's your take on that in the church?
Well, here it is for me, brother.
Yeah.
I am from Chicago. I'm from an inner city type area. I'm definitely not like, but I've lived in the country. I've lived everywhere. Here's my take. First of all, people are people.
Yes.
And we need to let everyone in the church that wants to attend and find God.
Yes.
We need to stop putting so much judgment on them in the church, because they are never going to convert that way, and that's going to push them far, far away, and there might not be any at all.
Yes.
I feel that most people are very, very hateful towards these people, and they don't give anybody a chance in this at all. And I feel this is a huge issue, that we don't have any compassion for the LGBTQ community. That's my take on it.
Okay, but that's according to us as a human being, right? You're talking as human being.
To the Bible.
Yes.
To the Bible.
Now, if we go to the
on the Bible. Yes.
Yeah. So now, according to the Bible, what can you say about? Because I believe that when it comes to the Bible, now we go with what God says. Yes, yeah, of course, everybody is welcomed. Jesus ate with prostitutes. He ate with unbeliever, everybody. And he came for those people. So my question now is, when it comes to the church, because the LBG, wherever the number is that we knew before, the way they started, and now is different. Because now you can see them in school, trying to how do you call it? With the kids, like they drug dealer.
So in other words, before it wasn't as open as it is today, pretty much.
Not only open, but now it's not. It's like cults. You know what I mean? Where they go and how do you call it?
Recruit.
Yes, recruit. Kids in school. You imagine having
kind of conditioning the children, basically. Yes, I've heard about this. I don't I've seen a few videos and stuff. Like I really, I don't know a whole lot about it. I don't agree with any of this stuff in schools. No.
Yeah.
I know gay people. I've gay people that are friends.
Yeah.
But I do not agree with any of that in schools or any kind of pushing this agenda on
Yeah.
anyone. And
Yes.
that is my standing policy on all of this. Yes.
Yes. So that means for me, because I think this is very personal. You know what I mean? I'm not speaking on the behalf of the podcast or the verse or TMP. No, I'm just speaking on myself. I think yes, everybody is allowed to do whatever that they wanna do, to be themselves, you know. But the problem that I have with the community is the fact that they are forcing their agenda on our cause. Before, when I didn't have any kids, I was like, yeah, I don't care. But now since I have kids, I'm like, no, 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 no. We have to rethink. Like, if you are a parent, you have to think twice when it comes to the community, you know. So and I think one day, if you have any LGBTQ, you know, community, somebody from there who would like to have them on our podcast and just talk about, because you know we want to discuss. You know, I'm not against it, but I will discuss about it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And some of us, we came from, you know, we have cultures and all that, but right now it's not about the culture. It's about the reality that we are living right now. We can't deny that community. It's already in our schools, in our churches, in our community. It's already there. But for me, I think we just have to open up, to open the discussion and see, you know, what you know, God will take us from. Yeah.
I've got a small story here
Yeah.
that actually pertains to that. I
Yeah.
met somebody recently, actually in our area, and they are LGBTQ or whatever you want to call them. They are lesbian couple,
Yeah.
but the woman has a huge fire for God.
Yeah.
You can tell it all over her.
Yeah.
She loves to go to church. She's a worship singer and pastor.
Yeah.
Her church had pushed her out of the church because she is with one and scarred pretty badly.
Yeah.
So I see this type of thing happening, and I'm got to think that that is not a good thing. I don't care what is going on. That's not what we should be doing.
Yeah.
Now, not to run away from this subject is really very, because there's some point that we could have touched on it, but there's something I wanted Smart Gigi to kind of speak on. As we are into the season of Christmas that we are going to, I mean, this is December. Smart D, what was Christmas like for you as a young kid and now as an adult? What is something that you can share to people from like
I will
the lifestyle that you probably had around those time? And what do you see Christmas uh, now? How do you see Christmas now that you're a grown man, husband, a
Kid.
father?
Yeah.
What is something that you can share to people about Christmas?
Christmas. I remember when I was very, very young. I don't know how I have these memories, but they're flash memories of my family when I was very young in Illinois, when I was maybe like 2 or I don't know what age, but I remember our whole family used to get together. And it was a really, really beautiful thing. And it was a really cool vibe. And we got presents and everything. But after that, we didn't really see Christmas really or birthdays. It was maybe like a package of Oreo cookies or something like that. We spent a couple Christmases on the streets.
Yeah.
We actually were homeless one year in Long Beach and got completely robbed while we were out on the beach, sleeping on the beach. So my mom and her husband got robbed, and then they didn't have any, money for us to live out there. So it was a complete disaster.
And
Yeah. So yeah, not much for the holidays when we were young. Now I try to enjoy. It's hard for me. I got to be honest, bro, because it's weird. holidays are always super weird for me because I don't
That,
have
I think
my mother around. I
it's
don't
the
have my
lost
grandmother
memory
around.
that you have to create for your kids. You know what I mean? So now
Yeah.
now you don't live for you. You live for your kids, because that's the only thing that God will ask you. The kid that gave you. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So for me,
So,
I can't lie to you.
so
Yeah. Since I had a kid, bro, I'm like, oh my God. There's another small human being that look at. Oh man, no. It's a different. That's why you can't be a real man if you don't have a wife and a kid, man. No, because
I
that
know
responsibility.
So Smart
that
D,
will humble you.
because we are going close to closing,
Yeah. For
uh,
today,
for today.
yes, for
Exactly,
today,
because we definitely going.
we're
This is
gonna
the
have you back.
beginning of the
Yes.
Smart D journey. And by the way, thank you so much for sharing. These are very personal um, story. These are very sensitive issues, and it's not just anybody that can open up their life story like this. But for you, it's a way of you to reach out to people, to be a blessing for people to learn through what you went through. Because I know the one mission that we are all given, Matthew 28, 19, is to go out there, make all the nation into the disciples of Christ. And this is would be one of the way, because through the struggle that you went through, God was refining you into the man that today you have become. You are now a strong man. You know what you cannot be involved in and what you can only be involved in. Now, today, after this first session that we had, what is one thing that you can tell to our audience based on everything that you have shared? Because there are a lot of people out there that are going to relate with your stories, not just in a like the drug or family dysfunctional, but also in other perspective of their lives, to help them stay strong, to help them make that decision and be strong about the decision. What is one word that you can share to people before we head to the closing?
So don't ever think that God has forsaken you or give up on you. If you're
Amen.
dealt a very bad hand, a very troubled hand, it is very likely that you are very blessed by God. That He has His hand on whatever you are doing, and I promise you that. Because the ones that are born in the fire have a very strong purpose on this earth. So you got to have perseverance, as it says in the Bible over and over again. Persevere through this, and God will gift you along the way, and He is going to give you the contents of your heart and everything you could dream of, plus way more than you could ever dream of. Um, and that's what I could really say. And don't let him. Don't be so hard headed that it takes him to completely reduce you to nothing. And don't be laying on that floor and lose your mother and lose your entire life before you give your life to God. How about let's go for him now. Let's seek him and let's find a relationship with him
Yes.
now and start living the best life we can possible in Jesus' mighty name, y'all. I
Amen.
love y'all.
Amen.
Thank you
Amen.
so much, Smart D. It was a great honor and pleasure to have you. Me, myself, sincerely, I'm blessed.
I'm
And I
blessed
know
too.
because I will take time to even watch the podcast
Of
after.
course.
Indeed, I am sincerely blessed,
Yes.
my brother.
Yes.
And
Thank you.
without further ado, I think we will let you just share a word of prayer with our audience.
Okay.
And
Right.
Uh, well, I just want to mention also to our audience before I let you that we're going to have you back again, and also check out also other of the great work that we are doing,
Yeah.
and please feel free to share these things out there because we are trying to build this nation. Okay,
Yes.
go ahead, Smart.
So before he goes, I want let's remind our audience that you know Smart, you call him Smart. Me, I call him Michael, right?
I like,
Michael is fine,
I
right?
like Smash D, man.
Michael,
I like
right?
Smash
Michael,
D,
right?
man. I like
So,
Smash D, man.
brother Michael will preach on the verse show.
Yes.
So we're gonna have 15 minutes. So
Yeah.
this is just a way for you, for our audience to know him. So that when by the time you start, watching his preaching, I think at least you'll be already have the idea of the person that he's preaching. But I believe that next week, I would really love to have you back, because this is just
Okay.
part 1 of the part 20 that we we have to do. You know what I mean? So this is the first episode.
I have
Yes.
lots of guests with really, really, really powerful testimonies, man. I have got
Yes.
people that have been shot almost to
Yes.
death. I've got everybody that hangs out with me, bro, has been through
Yeah.
a lot, brother.
Yes, yes. And imagine we have even, like myself, I haven't even tell you anything about me. My brother here, he haven't even say anything about him. So this how we gonna
Yeah.
create this journey, and I know other people will start joining us, little bit by little bit.
Well, I would like to offer you guys to come on my podcast as well, because I do the Faith from Flames podcast every other Tuesday.
Yes, that would be great. That would be great.
Yeah, I
So
would love
you know
to
what
have you
we
guys
can
on my
do?
show.
You do it live.
Yes, I do it live.
Oh, live. Okay, we'll see, because for us, we only have Saturdays and Sundays. That's the only time
Oh,
that
okay.
we have, yeah, Saturday. But what we
Yeah,
can
you could
do,
do it on your phone. You could do
oh,
it on your
yeah.
phone.
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
Sounds good. Sounds good. Yeah, we
Yeah.
we can do that.
We'll make
So
it happen.
I would like you, if you can tell people to go and share, like, and subscribe to TMP Empire, the VERSE podcast. I really appreciate, and then you can give us a word of prayer as we are closing. Yeah.
Yo, I love these guys. This is my first time on TMP production. These guys are absolutely amazing. This is the Word podcast.
Yeah.
Please subscribe. This is Smudge D with Higher Power ENT. I definitely I back this movement, and I believe in it, and I believe that we should continue contributing to it and contribute supporting it, guys. So let's all go out there and support and subscribe, guys. And I will be sharing this link as well. And all of my subscribers, please subscribe as well.
Yes.
So and I'll go ahead and I'll send us off in prayer then, guys.
Okay.
Holy Father, I come to you in prayer. I just want to lift up these guys that are doing the podcast here, and just surround them with the Holy Spirit, and direct them and guide them and give them perfect direction in this mission. And let them see exactly where they should be focusing this podcast, and the right guests and all the correct people to come on it. I pray that any kind of witchcraft or any kind of demonic energy that is sent our way, that is casted out and binded, and it is sent out and it will never come back, Lord. I just pray that anything that is sent to harm us, that it will be casted out and completely dropped down in its path, Lord, in Jesus' mighty name. I pray that this podcast will help the masses, Lord, and that it will build a massive following and continue to help as many people as it possibly can. In Jesus' mighty name, we want to help the broken, the lost, LGBTQ. We want to help every single soul on this earth with this podcast. In Jesus' mighty name, I pray. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Smudge D.
Thank you so much, my brother. So, hey, guys, please, the VERSE family, make sure you like, share, subscribers. So we really need you guys to watch this podcast, and make sure you like, share, and subscribe, because we need those numbers.
Yep.
And the last thing about us is we're gonna see you guys next time, right?
That's right. See you next time.
Next time.
The VERSE podcast.
The VERSE podcast.
It's TMP Empire.